Hi everyone, welcome to Living Legacies, SOMART's annual Day of the Dead exhibition. My name is Rio Yanez and I am the co-curator of this exhibition. The lineage of this show can be traced back to the mid-1970s in the Mission District. My father, Rene Yanez, had a vision of bringing artists and the community together to create Day of the Dead altars as a way to artistically mourn and celebrate the lives of the dead. Now, decades later, we're here at SOMART's, where the show has found its home for over 20 years. This year, it's been a very, very challenging set of circumstances to bring the show to life, but I am so glad that the resiliency and the creativity of the artists involved, SOMART's staff and technical crew have come together to bring this very, very necessary and very urgent show to you. I'd like to introduce now my co-curator, Carolina Quintanilla, who will tell you a little bit more about the specifics of this year's exhibition.
Hi everyone, my name is Carolina Quintanilla and I am the co-curator of Día de los Muertos along with Rio Yanez. The theme of this show is Living Legacies, and Living Legacies is an acknowledgement of the importance of our actions and of our existence. It is an acknowledgement that our ancestors don't leave us and that we're living in their vision and that we're also creating a new vision together in this moment. So we hope that you enjoy this overview of the exhibition. We also hope that you're able to come check it out in person if you're able to. So yeah, thank you, and I hope that you enjoy the tour.
We start our tour with this incredible installation by Candy Farley's. Candy has been a part of this exhibition for decades and has a very unique vision informed both by her skill as a visual artist, but her years spent as a healthcare worker as well.
Hi, my name is Candy Farley's and my project is called Chaos. This is what nightmares are made of. My project is about COVID-19, the coronavirus. I've worked in healthcare most of my life, and so I felt I needed to talk about that because it's such a pressing problem for today. But what's really devastating is this is the legacy that we're leaving behind to the next generations to come. And between global warming and social justice issues, police brutality, white supremacy. There's just so many issues going on right now. I just felt like the way to capture all of that and to express my sense of pain and suffering around this was to create a boat. I felt like a boat was a symbol of floating and staying on top of things.
This installation is by Samantha Espinosa and Malaya Tuye. This altar is dedicated to Black, Indigenous, and people of color who have passed away this year.
This altar is dedicated to all of the Black, Indigenous, and POC family and community that have been taken too early at the hands of a racist system that was never built for us.
This altar is our offering to give our BIPOC family tenderness and love and safety.
This is for those who should be here.
For those still here.
And for those we do not know.
Next, we have this amazing piece by painter Adriana Garcia. This piece holds a lot of personal meaning for me. It's a portrait of my father. When he passed away in 2018, Adriana created this incredible portrait of him. And in these very, very challenging circumstances of putting together this exhibition, we wanted to make sure that my dad was included and that his his presence was a part of this show, and it's very meaningful for me to have this be a part of the exhibition. We are incredibly honored and humbled to have this amazing piece by artist Adrian Arias in tribute to George Floyd. Adrian completed this piece over several days as part of a process of painting and broadcasting on Facebook.
My Día de los Muertos installation this year is dedicated to George Floyd. Eight minutes and 46 seconds of air out. We are alive. We have the right to breathe. Tenemos el derecho a respirar. Estamos vivos. Todos juntos somos una bandera de liberación en busca de justicia social. Black Lives Matter es nuestro aire, it's our air. We are looking for social justice. We all together, we are the flag of freedom and liberation. My altar is to remember that we can do it together. Todos juntos podemos hacerlo, con arte, with culture, with cultural organization, with activism. And this altar is not only for George Floyd, it's for everybody, todos los que han muerto injustamente. We need to be in together, thinking that we have the right to respirar, to breathe.
Up next is Black Joy is Legendary by Ayana Ivory. Ayana is part of the SOMART's community of artists, participating in this show for many years, as well as the Black Woman is God and other exhibitions here. We're really excited for the light and joy that this piece brings to the show.
Hello, my name is Ayana Ivory, and I am the artist and creator of the art piece titled Black Joy is Legendary. I chose 6 screen printed images of Josephine Baker to portray the embodiment of Black joy. I wanted to show Black joy in something that was familiar, something that was historic, something that was playful. Because during times like this, the year 2020 has been the craziest year that we've all experienced together. And I felt that it was important to uplift Black joy in its purest form. As Black people have endured this country and the limits that it sets upon us, I feel like our joy, our expressiveness is the one thing that saves us. And I wanted to highlight our joy in the midst of all of this chaos and pain and loss of life. Because Black joy is always there, and I want us to remember that.
This installation and mural is by artist 2AM. She is another artist who is a part of SOMART's family, who has been in the Día de los Muertos show, The Black Woman is God, and Nightlight throughout the years.
Hello, my name is Amber Newsom. I also go by 2AM. and I'm tapping in with you guys today to talk about my piece For the Ancestors. For the Ancestors is an installation piece that I painted and put together, and it was sort of my answer to everything that's going on right now in politics and the Black Lives Matter movement. The concept rests upon the idea that my enslaved ancestors had to dream of their freedom. African slaves who were brought to America, slaves who were brought to America from all over, they often believed that they would only find their freedom and their peace when they would die. And then upon death, they would be brought back to Africa or Jamaica or Haiti or wherever they were brought from. Those people had to dream that they would be reunited with their family and their friends, and that was the only joy that they had through their day. And so I thought that was powerful because, our ancestors from the civil rights movement, many of them like Martin and Malcolm, they died fighting for these rights that we're still fighting for. So this installation piece is basically a tribute to them. It is energy given to them. It is food. It is sustenance. It is my energy. It's my creative work. I believe that when I make art and I meditate on these issues, it acts as a prayer. So this is basically, for all the people who have fought for me to be here. This is for all of the people who are still fighting for me to be here. And more importantly, it's for the ancestors. So remember, when we fight these fights and when we're doing this work and when we're walking this incredibly rebellious and difficult walk, that we're not just doing it for ourselves, that we're doing it for our ancestors. Thank you.
This installation is by Paola de la Calle. The installation is an ode to essential workers who have always been essential workers.
The title of my piece is Entre Azul y Azul, or Between Blues, and that was inspired by a poem that I wrote where I talk about where we meet or where we find ourselves when the people that we love are across borders and we're separated by borders. And that poem you can find on the two side walls of the installation. And as you walk into the installation, you're greeted by a lace curtain that's dyed in coffee, and that coffee really acts as a invitation into the space. The first thing that people ask you when you walk through the door in Colombia is, ¿Quieres un tintico? Do you want a cup of coffee? So it's really a place, the installation is really a place where you're meant to feel like you're at home and you're in community and you are thinking about the people that you love and care about and miss. And once you're in the space, you'll see a white patio chair, and that patio chair is empty, and all that's in it is a sculpture of a hands texting on WhatsApp. And really what that's meant to do is make us think about the people that we're far away from, we're disconnected from, and help us reflect on the moments of joy that we've had together when we can imagine that white patio chair being pulled for celebrations like baby showers or quinceañeras or birthdays or just cookouts. So I hope that people are able to reflect and to really contemplate about the joy that you feel when you're surrounded by the people that you love.
Next, we have this stunning piece by artist Joss Sands. Created over a period of 4 months, these 7 scratchboards tell a narrative of our collective experiences. Joss has been a part of many different iterations of this exhibition, dating back to the 1980s.
Hello, this is Joss Sands. The title of my piece is Under Shelter. These panoramic scratchboards were created while sheltering in place during the COVID-19 outbreak from March 12th to June 6th of 2020. These 7 new scratchboard drawings are intended to be viewed in sequence and examine our mortality. The work also explores the coronavirus pandemic as a new type of crisis, illustrated through the clash of values that have preceded these maybe not so unprecedented times. It also continues my ongoing investigation into the environmental crisis and the link to the pandemic.
This installation is by Trisha Rainwater Tutwiler. One interesting thing to know about this artist is that she learned carpentry and video production in order to execute it. This series of videos has to do with resilience.
Halito Sahojifoya Trisha Rainwater Tutwiler. My name is Trisha Rainwater Tutwiler, and I greeted you in Choctaw. It is my language. I am a member of the Choctaw Nation. So my piece is called Atanochi, which means to urge, encourage, or authorize. My piece is a multimedia piece made of wooden panels that form traditional Choctaw weaving patterns. I've been really interested looking at Choctaw weaving patterns, and I wanted to incorporate the wisdom of my ancestors with the wisdom of my kin. I have made an amazing community here in San Francisco with Indigenous elders, and I've made a community of Indigenous kin all over the so-called United States via the internet and connections from childhood and college. I interviewed 8 different people about their relationships to resilience, talking to them about what they believe resilience to mean, what they think of it, the good and the bad, and how it's affected their life, who they've seen resilience in or not. I wanted to make this project because as a child, I experienced a lot of trauma, and I was always called resilient. I didn't always feel resilient, and it isn't something I necessarily chose to have the label put on me. I wanted to speak to other people about their relationships and see what they thought and how we overlapped.
This mural by Tasha Stimmage is about optimism and connection.
Hey, my name is Tasha, and I'm one of the exhibiting artists at this year's Dia de Los Muertos show at SOMARTS. The piece that I created, We Are Infinite. I've been thinking a lot about optimism and hope and the role that it plays in futurism, seeing ourselves and seeing the people that we love. And it was created as a piece just basically to allow people physical space if you're able to be in the space or virtually, just to allow color and the idea of hope to kind of resonate inside of you somewhere deeply, especially in a time where I feel like those things may be in short supply. I believe in the power, the collective power of the people, and I hope that this piece inspires you to find that hope and to see yourself and the people that you love somewhere down the line. Thanks.
We end our tour with this amazing structure by Victor Mario Sabaya and his team. Victor Mario has been a part of this show for decades, and within this indigenous structure are the stories of both the living and the dead.
Hola. My altar piece this year is called Tlacuitl, which means inheritance in the Nahuatl language, the national language of Mexico. The distribution of the floor plan is inspired by an image of the map of the time from the Mexican culture or the old ancients. In this case, we have a centerpiece, which is an altar of fire, and the north and the south are representing the struggle, peace, and justice, using these images created by Dean and Juliette McCannell. And the centerpiece of the fire is a stencil, a cutout stencil, cut by Todd Hanson, And I decided the whole structure pretty much is a lantern, a huge lantern. When I was growing up in Mexico for Day of the Dead, we always make lanterns to invite the dead people who have nobody to remember them to be welcome to our house and share the feast for the Day of the Dead. All my landscapes and paintings are pretty much in the shape of altars. The architecture of Teotihuacan, the ancient capital of the Toltecs, is pretty much my inspiration, which is actually where my family came from. All my work is either landscape or nature. In this case, this altar is honoring the people who passed away this year, who had lived as a legacy. And in this west side, we have the images of people who is currently living a legacy. So this image also is made by Dean and Juliet. And I created the whole structure. Is mostly recycled wood, tissue paper, and lamps, all kinds. In Mexico will be candles and stuff like that. All the work I do is basically using scissors and kitchen knives. As I was growing up, I grew up mostly with my grand aunts, my grandmother, my godmother, and all of them create everything at home. Their clothes, the altars, tissue paper, piñatas, papel picado. So that was basically my art instruction. I studied aeronautic engineering and eventually had to drop the school for a lack of funds. So I put basically all my energy to become an apprentice of mural artist. And after all these years learning all kind of technology in my work, I still like to do things that are ephemeral, like altars, tissue paper, wood, things that don't last too long, but they give an image of time. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for joining us on our tour. We'd like to thank the artists, the staff and technical crew of SOMARTS, as well as the extended Día de los Muertos family of artists, who we look forward to having back next year in a larger capacity.
We also want to recognize Kathy Anderson, who has supported Día de los Muertos throughout the years. We missed you this year, and we're sending you lots of love and healing. And I'd also like to personally dedicate the show to my partner, Phil De La Cruz, who passed away and has supported me tremendously throughout the years and this show. Thank you for taking the tour, and we hope to see you at SOMART soon.